Sorry, I forgot to actually go live there. Running a bit laggy here, of course, as always, as you always know that. Do let me know if you can hear me. I'm hoping you can, because I've set up the microphone and everything where I'm supposed to. A couple of people already in. Hello, Shakos and Sprues. Thank you. Congratulations on 7K. Thank you very much. Friends of General Haig, evening to you. And yes, thank you very much for reaching further congratulations as well. I'm absolutely blown away by it. To be perfectly honest, it's crazy to think where it's all come from. As I say, let me know if you can hear me. Evening Dex, good to have you on board. Hit that like button if you're watching. Please do. Tonight I just thought I'd do it's kind of like a celebratory 7. We can hear you. Great stuff. Celebratory live stream. I'm trying to get back into these really since Christmas. It's been a bit quiet. Hey Joe, thank you very much. So it's been a bit quiet with the live stream. So I just thought let's just do some more of them and just get them out there. And it's always fun, isn't it? Earlier on, I've been finishing a few things off already. So I've already finished off this ruined house, another one of the 3D printed houses that I got, and also this I finished the other day. Actually, it was like a test paint of the one of the first houses that I did, and I don't know if you can see that too well or not. I don't know if I'm in a good position, if I've set everything up right, but I think I'm quite happy with how they've turned out. I probably could do a little bit more work on this one, but I'll leave it as it is at the moment, I think. So I'll just get rid of those. I've spent a lot of today cutting roads out, the ones I got from Geek Villain there behind me. Evening, Kevin. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much. The other thing as well, I also finished off with these Albatross D2s, which I don't know if I can get these, if I can show you these at a good pace or not. But I've done 6 of these. These are from Yasta 19. That's those done. They're all finished. I'm quite happy with them. Quite pleased. So that's some more for the Algernon stuff. So a bunch of those. So tonight I'm wanting to really kind of just work away on some more of the algae stuff. I've got some of them here, sitting here. I've got some. Let me just get rid of those out of the way. I've got the. We'll see how we go tonight. See how long we go for. I've got eight aircraft here. You can see. So I've got some Sopwith pups, and also some Roland C2s as well. I say it every time, but these are probably my favourite aircraft of the First World War. I absolutely love them. The 2-seater things that the Rolands have is the Valsfish. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Wales. They've got the really flat top wing, so it's like it's at the same height as the cockpit and the machine gun as well. So basically, they can spin the machine gun round and 360-degree angle of fire off the machine gun. And the other thing as well I've also got is this, another 3D printed house. I'm slowly working my way through these one at a time. This is one of the other ones. All I've done at the moment is I've just undercoated it brown. I've also painted the interior with a spray can, just with just black as well, just to give it a bit of something on the inside, because these are solid pieces. They won't be opened up in the game. I have got a plan as how I'm going to deal with these, but what I'm going to do is probably just get some block colours on this tonight, I think, and really just go from there. And also, like I said, just start work on these aircraft. I don't think I'll get further than their undersides this evening, so to speak, but I will at least get to a point where the undersides are finished, and I can then flip them over and do the tops. So, what is everybody else out there painting tonight? And if you are out there, say hello in the comments. Drop me a message. Drop me a question if you've got any. So first off, I'm going to start up with the aircraft. I think that's going to be the first thing. Just get some block colours down on those before I do anything else. The way I normally paint, as some of you see in my painting videos, is I basically just bang everything onto it and then neaten up afterwards. It allows you to do things pretty quickly, to be honest. So that's always good, I think. I do hope my voice is syncing up with the picture. I'm not sure it is. Shackles and sprues carrying with First World War Germans. Excellent, good stuff. I'll look forward to seeing those when they're finished. You got them sort of right. Well, as long as you're following a painting guide, I think you'll be all right. The field grey that they wore was similar to the Second World War field grey, and then the trousers on them it was a slightly greener field grey because they were wool trousers, so the dye didn't not reduce, but trying to think of the word. Didn't bleach so easily. So first up, the Sopwith pups. Switching up to 28mm Imperial Japanese Army, excellent. Painted a 15mm taxi, AK-47 scatter scenery, and a 3D printed Fat Man, as in the bomb. Oh, okay, used with a Barker marker. A zone of control, eh? Not heard of called as a Barker marker for a long time. Okay, so currently just, as I say, first of all, I'm putting on the underside of these the Sopwith pups, and with all RFC aircraft, they were painted in a clear doped linen. So it's just the linen, and it was just doped. So that's what I'm using here. It's Vallejo's Dark Sand, just to get these on here. But yeah, I'm currently trying to work my way as much through as many pieces of scenery as well as these aircraft as well. I want to get these out of the way, and then I'll probably work on the Brunswicks at some point once I've got this second batch of aircraft out of the way, because once I've done these I'll never need another First World War aeroplane ever again, I shouldn't think. That's the plan anyway. And then of course I'll be moving on to the Second World War, but I have already got some Second World War stuff, but there's quite a few things I wouldn't mind adding a few more bits and pieces to the very small Malaya Second World War aircraft collection I've got. That's what I'm planning to do. A question about gas in the First World War. One of my granddads was invalided out after being gassed. Apparently he wore gloves for the rest of his life. Did the mustard gas burn exposed flesh? Yes, it did. It did burn exposed flesh. Mustard gas. That was the actual damage it did, more so than inhalation. Because it was a corrosive, so it would attack skin. So yeah, that would be why. And the thing is as well, it was heavier than water, so what would happen is you gas an area with it. Nasty thing to be talking about, but you gas an area, whether there's troops in it or not, and then it basically settles and lands in the shell craters, and then sinks below the water surface and just sits there waiting until somebody walks past and walks into the shell crater, and then breaks the surface, and then the gas is released, and it takes people by unawares, you see, because obviously if you are being attacked with gas, you can put your gas mask on, and all soldiers were obviously trained to wear their gas masks and to put them on as quickly as possible and operate in them. So actually gassing them later in the war wasn't as effective. Well, it wasn't a particularly effective weapon anyway, but mustard gas was particularly nasty because of that reason. Because you would have no way of knowing where it was on the battlefield until you got gassed. And that's what caught a lot of people off their mark, basically. So that's probably what happened to your granddad, I would assume. He's probably put his hands into some water or something, or into an area where they disturbed the mustard gas again. But yeah, nasty stuff. But from a casualty point of view, it's about casualty removal gas. It's not really so much about killing. It's about causing casualties. That is, not killing them, at injuring people, because if you injure somebody on the battlefield, you're then tying up logistics to get them off the battlefield. You're also tying up other soldiers to take them off the battlefield. And it has a really weird. We have a perception of it from the First World War. There's obviously horrible subject. Not what about it. Alfred Palazzio's "Seeking Victory on the Western Front" is a good introduction to the use of gas on the First World War. It goes through the different uses of it and how it was deployed in a military way. The thing is, it's great. Well, not great, but it's very useful when you're in a static war. But it really has its limitations, because if you fire a load of gas into an area and then you attack into that area, then your men are attacking into... Good afternoon, Richard. If you're attacking into that area, then your men are attacking into gas. So it's actually used to deny areas to the enemy. So they cut off entry points for reserves and things to come into an area. So you box off an area using gas, and you would basically just almost like cut off a small area that you want to attack into. So this is the way it works, really, rather than using it to injure people on the front line. One of my great uncles was gassed and died post-war due to the effects weakening his lungs. Because he died post-war, he didn't have Commonwealth glory. I expect many were the same. Yeah, I'm sure they were. And a lot of people were, they'd suffer from various effects of it. There was a British Medical Journal article that I read when I was writing my dissertation for my Masters that was talking about men who had basically put in a pension after the war to get money because they'd been gassed, or they were saying they were gassed, and they were looking at the actual effects of these men and what had actually happened to them and what they did, and most of them were smokers. Most of them worked in heavy industry and things like that, so the actual battlefield gas was probably unlikely to have been the cause of their lung issues. I'm not saying it was everybody, but a lot of them, tried to get away with it. And I wonder how many others were like that as well. But yeah, it is a familiar trope, but it's an interesting subject in itself, the way that it was used on the battlefield, especially in the First World War. And as I say, by the end of the war anyway, well, immediately after the first gas attacks in 1915, the British were already developing anti-gas effects, like gas masks and fans and things like that, sprays and stuff they had in the trenches, and then they developed the pH hood, which was the first gas mask, which is the classic basically bag with two eye holes in it and a little flutter tube. And then they developed the small box respirator, which was superior to the German gas mask, largely because the German gas mask had the big heavy respirator on the front of it, and that pulled it off the face if it wasn't attached properly, and also it also had a filter in it as well, which you could change as well depending on how you depending on which gas was being used at a particular time or place, you could change the filters out. Modern chemotherapy apparently stems from the study of mustard gas victims from World War II. Allied ships were carrying it when it was bombed off Bari, Italy. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. P. Neil, hi Alex. Late I know, well done on 7k. You're not late. No worries. There's no compunction to be here at any particular time. Turn up when you want. watch it on the replay, whatever, as they say. So that's the set with pups started at least. As I say, at the moment I'm just blocking everything in right now. The undersides I don't mind bother so much about, simply because you can't see them in a game. So I just paint them in basic colours. I don't put any decals on. I just literally have them, do them as they are. Now I've been thinking about this, how to do the Val fish, and I was thinking, should I do them camouflaged or should I do them in the sky blue scheme? And I kind of think that the sky blue scheme is a little bit cliched almost, because that's what you always see it in, but I do like it. It's a shame that what I don't have is I don't have any decals for shark's teeth, because I could put those on as well. I could attempt to paint them on, but I don't think I will. I'll probably just end up Ban Jackson and making it look terrible. Alright, got 12 people in here. Say hello if you're watching. I was going to do this live stream down the week, but I've got a busy week ahead of me. Tomorrow I'm going to go and see Godfather at the cinema. That's on this week. I've never seen it at the cinema before, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's a great film. And then Thursday I'm down at the club. I'll be playing a game of Chain of Command with Lee, finally. Playing Malaya. I asked him who he wants to be, and of course he wants to be the Japanese. So I think my Indians are going to get their asses handed to them, but we'll see. I've not got, but I'm going to take all that jungle scenery down that I've been building recently. That was the plan, to try and get that finished up for this particular game. And most of it is finished. I've got a few other bits and pieces to do, but I've just put it to one side for now while I paint some buildings and stuff, do something else. Have I tried printing my own decals? No, I haven't, Thomas, because my printer's not a very good printer. It's only a LaserJet, so it's not a great printer. So I don't think the decals will come out very good, to be honest. And this is one of those things. It's like, it's the same as the grass tufts. There's people out there that do these things way better than I could ever do them, having to learn from scratch. So I might as well just throw money at somebody else who can do it. That's kind of my philosophy. Unless I was going to go into the decal making business and start selling them, but you have to be pretty good at that, I think. I suppose there is a gap in the market now that Dom's Decals doesn't seem to exist anymore. So no, I haven't tried printing them. I think a mate of mine might have tried printing decals in the past. I can't remember if he got some decal paper or not. I think he was talking about it at least. So you need to have a go at printing some decals for cavalry trumpet banners. Trumpet banners? I would probably just print those on paper, to be honest, if I were you. I wouldn't bother. Yeah, the shark's teeth would be cool on these, but I don't think anybody does them, unfortunately. Well, they might do them for the Second World War. I'd be surprised if somebody doesn't do them for Second World War. I might just have a think about it, see if I can actually do these. You read an autobiography of a gentleman who served in the City of London Highlanders. He was exposed to gas when he walked into a low area of ground while delivering breakfast for his unit. Yeah, that's another thing. It would, because he was heavier than air as well, it would just sit at the bottom of trenches and shell craters and things. So yeah, it would take you unawares more so than actually being fired at you. Because at least if it was being fired at you, you had time to prepare. If you're just taking somebody their breakfast, it's a bit different. Not much chance there. Interestingly, I read quite a lot of letters and diaries for my dissertation, and there was one guy in the artillery, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about a particular time where they were firing their gun and they were getting gas, because gas was used a lot in counter-battery work. because the thing is, wearing a gas mask and firing a gun at the same time is incredibly difficult work. So you gas the guns to make them put their gas masks on, but this guy was saying that they were so used to it that they were just pulling their gas masks off and just carried on as though there was no problem. And then he said as well, another time he was in a dugout with a new guy who just joined the unit, and a gas shell came into the dugout, gassed the young lad, but not the other guy. And he said he felt it was because he'd been exposed to gas so much. Evening, Miller. Good to have you on board. Oh, and thank you very much. I will be, when I reach 7,500, or when I get close to 7,500, I've got a competition lined up. Evening, Ian. Good to have you on board. I'll announce it closer to the time, but I think it's going to be something you'll enjoy. I just got the last thing for it today, so it's all ready to go, but I'm obviously 500 subscribers off it at the moment, or close to, but it's going to be a giveaway, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to give away what the giveaway is, but it will be a giveaway, and it will be coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled. I'm just not sure at what point when to do the actual competition, whether to do it at like 773 or 7400, because of the rate that I go, I'm usually getting around about 250 subscribers a month, so it might be in the next couple of months that I do it, but it also depends obviously on how many people subscribe and how close I get to it. I thought about doing this as a giveaway for 7,000, but 7,000 is a bit of a weird number, whereas 7,500 is 2,500 away from 10,000, and that's when it. But then I'm going to have to top that giveaway by doing a bigger giveaway for 10,000, aren't I? It's like a vicious circle. Right, okay, so that's the Roland's undersides done. So now I'm going to move over onto this building, and as I say, at the moment I'm just going to really just block in some colours, I think, on this. First of all, I'll just wait till these are finished, and I'll do the other bits and pieces as well on those. I'll work on a couple of different things. So the first things first is, what colour am I going to paint the walls? The other one behind me, I did it in a lemony yellow, so I don't know, I might do this one in a bit a grey colour, a light, very light grey. I think that might be a nice one to do, because then you've got the red of the brick, the dark grey of the roof, and then also the light grey. So I want to make them as different as possible, because I'll show you what I've kind of prepared. Because you can't lift these off the table, well, you can lift them off the table, but you can't get any figures into them because they are just solid blocks. I decided to do this with them and actually make floor plans for each one of them, so that when they are on the table, we'll have this probably a little bit smaller, because this was just a test print, but a little bit smaller, and then you've got each of the different floors here that you can see. So we've got ground floor and the first floor, then we've got the attic as well, and on each one of these I've also marked on where the doors are in red and also where the windows are as well. So what you'll be able to do is place figures on these, and these will kind of like either sit on the side of the table or just, you know, in a space on the table where you don't need to, where the fighting isn't going on. And I just thought that's a good little idea, really, because then it means you're not picking the roofs off and putting figures in and pulling figures out and things, because they're all quite small anyway, so getting my fat fingers into them is going to be difficult. And it also just gives you a bit of space to put more figures in than you would physically get into these as well. So I just thought that was an idea. This was just like a test. I'll probably do a smaller one, and so I'll get 2 buildings on each sheet and then laminate those. And then so what I want is, I need differentiations between the buildings so I know which one's which. So this one's the one with the yellow walls and the green windows. So we know exactly which one is which when we want to play in the game. So that was a little idea. In the past, you made some 1/4 scale sharp steel with a few years back. Downloaded some images and played around and scaled them down, printed in decal paper. Yeah, good stuff. Did they work? Maybe I might have a look at it. As I say, at the moment, for 1/300th scale, it might be a lot of faff for something that I can just very easily paint on, or relatively easy paint on, just to make it look okay-ish. So I will have a think about it. Here we go. Right. So this is big brush time. I can see there's 12 or so people watching at the moment. As I keep saying, say hello in the chat. Can you put a dress on the front of the building? I could do. I suppose I could do. 15mm address. I went to the paint and glue route for all your buildings. 25mm scale, so larger. Good solution, 15mm. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Just as a way of doing it. If it was 25mm and you could break the buildings up. I've got the paint and glue ones. The 15mm ones come to pieces, but again they're still quite small on the inside because the walls themselves are quite thick. So I'm just thinking for practicalities when you're playing a game. I just think it's a quicker and an easier route than taking the roof off, and somebody inevitably will knock the thing over. And then figures go everywhere, and also you can also show exactly because obviously I play Chain of Command. You can show exactly which window they're at as well, rather than just saying, "Oh, these 4 are at this window," and just hoping you remember, kind of thing. Anything that makes the game easier, as far as I'm concerned. I'll say at the moment I'm just slopping this stuff on because I'm just going to do it quick. I will do a painting video of these at some point because I've got so many of them. I'm going to be I'll be able to get some of these out and about. So I'll probably just do a quick painting video of one at one point. I've got a couple other videos that I'm working on at the moment. One for the jungle terrain that I've been building. Actually, that's done and uploaded. The other one was for the Malayan house that I built recently. So that I've got all the shots. I just need to actually script it up and record it. But like everything, it's time, innit? And I don't have any, or I have very little of it. I love Vallejo paints, but the problem is that these dropper bottles do get a bit blocked up every so often. I think it's because the paint is old. I probably should put some paint thinner in those and give them a good shake with a little shaker. One of the best aspects of 3D printed builders is being able to I'm sure there's more to come from that. Message retracted. But these they paint really nicely as well, these little buildings. There's no fuss with them because I'm kind of foregoing a lot of the details as well, just because weathering is good for that, really. You can just cover up any mistakes you make with all kinds of weathering. One of the best aspects is to be able to get historical, yeah, indeed, of 3D printing. Nice idea. I think Des has some of the same buildings. Yes, he has. Des has got some of these buildings, and I think he got them from the same terrain genie as I did. After a fashion, I have some First World War planes, and I painted 40 years ago. No decals. Went cross-eyed painting lozenge patterns. Yeah, I've painted a few lozenge patterns on the ones that I got, and when I say a few, I mean a few, because I nearly went cross-eyed doing it as well. They don't look too bad from gaming distance. That was what I was going for. Them not looking bad. Accurate buildings like Dead Man's Corner. Yeah, I was looking at somebody was selling a Dead Man's Corner in the 3D printed Dead Man's Corner. I can't remember who it was. Something like miniatureterrain.co.uk perhaps. Just looking at it today. Joe Bilton did a fantastic one. One that I think Warbases, or was it Sarissa? Warbases or Sarissa, I can't remember which one. He worked with them on it, and he's done a really, really nice job on that particular one. It was in what we call it, in WSS magazine just recently. Really good. And a great tutorial as well. He does some fantastic scenery. But then from somebody who earns his living by making Dungeons and Dragons maps, you would expect nothing less. I wouldn't have thought anyway. Nice big brush. There we go. Lovely bit of painting. I love house painting. Unless it's 1:1 scale, then I hate it. Sorry, just concentrating while I get in here, while in these little cracks. Give that side another big old brush as well. Give it that second layer. If my airbrush was working, what I probably would have done is probably just giving it an airbrush over. I kind of want it. I don't want it perfect. I want it looking like it's it's a building that's been painted at different times. So I'm not too fussed if the paint work is perfect or not. That's the plan. Cafe Grande for Operation Pegasus is also available. Famous casino on D-Day. Can't remember the name of the chateau from Operation Market Garden. Yeah, a lot of these famous buildings are out and about, aren't they? For you to get hold of. I was supposed to be sent a 3D printer from my mini factory. It's not, still hasn't arrived yet. It's been a long time. I don't know if it'll ever arrive. I'm sure it will do at some point. Sources for decals for houses. That's 9 building. No, I don't know if anyone carries them actually either, Joe. A friend of mine, yes, my friend did have some decal paper because he made a present for me for my 40th 7 years ago, and it was a Soviet style house with a Soviet style poster on the side of it. It was one of the houses from Commission Figurines, and he went and did the whole printing it himself, so he just made it himself. Found a Soviet propaganda poster and stuck that on the side and then roughed it up. It looks fantastic. The Dead Man's Corner scenario, yeah, I bet that'll be good. I haven't seen it. I'd be surprised if somebody doesn't do. I think there's a lot of model companies that do Second World War posters and things. I've also just seen a lot of people resizing them and doing them themselves and just printing them on paper, or as we said, on decal paper. I mean, that would be relatively easy, just doing a poster. You just have to find a large large version of one and then just shrink it down to the size you need it at, really. That would be doable. So I don't think I'll be able to do much First World War shark's teeth decals. I'll probably not bugger those up straight away. Yeah, scale posters for buildings and signage is easy to print. Yeah, it's I've done it before for some of my buildings, just printed on paper, because you know a poster is made out of paper. Right. As you can see, I'm just being very quick with this at this point. Just trying to get my paints on. There we go. Yeah, good way to do it. Yeah, just give it a go. If it looks crap, then go looking for decals. Try it out. Okay. So I'm quite happy with the. Don't mind if the paint is relatively uneven on these, because it sometimes is in real life anyway. And that's going to be quite a nice one. I just want to try to get as many of these buildings done out of the way, because otherwise they'll just sit there staring at me for ages and I'll never get them done. I'll never do anything with them. So right, I'll let that dry for a bit and then I'll come back and either do the roof or do some of the bricks on it first of all. So while that dries, we then move back to our sock with pups. These are the next ones. So I'm going to paint the undercarriage. Do you make grout for the brick or just use shading? Do you mean in between the bricks? I've done washers before, white washers that then I wipe off, so you've got the wash falling in between. I didn't do it on the last one, but I might do it on this one. But I also just do a bit of shading as well. Either works really. At 15mm, it's quite difficult to see grout anyway. 28mm, I'd probably do it. Or if I was making a model or something, I would be more inclined to do it. Check with model railroading sites. Yeah, exactly. They're always good. They will sell a lot of posters and things. It's quite surprising the amount of wargamers that don't go looking at railway model stuff, you know, for things. There's a lot of it out there. It's already made. Let's get these boys done. So I don't think I'm going to get these finished tonight, because what I'm going to do is paint everything that I can at the moment. All these little bits and details and stuff, everything I can see, and then they will get varnished. So that'll have to dry obviously before I turn it over. So I'll probably just leave them tonight. We'll get them so far forward. I'll get the wheels and things and all the undercarriage and everything painted on them. We're getting there. Sorry if I've gone quiet, I'm just concentrating on these, trying not to get too much stuff everywhere. The more paint I get everywhere, the more I've got to come back and fix it again. I'm also trying to do them quickly as well. Speed painting, I'm not using speed paints. There we go. Alright. That's another step of them done. So, I want a dark grey now for the roof on this building, which is a good one. Jesus Kendall of today. Nice to have you here, Jesus Kendall. I think you're a bot, so I'm going to kick you off. There you go. You've got some 1/72 scale paper poster from Duplicator Productions. Okay. I had a really good grey for roofs the other day, and I can't remember which one it was I used. I really should write these things down, shouldn't I? I'm trying to remember which one it was. Dark sea green. Let's have a look. I think that might be about right. Does a game you play with the planes have a campaign rules or player character rules? It doesn't have campaign rules, but they wouldn't be difficult to make. You have this number of planes, you have this number of planes, you have this number of missions to complete by the end of this time. It does have player characters as well, so, well, they're relatively basic, so you can add characters to it, and it says you really should for every flight. And so I've done a load of cards, and what happens is they basically just get an extra move or a fire when their card is drawn. It's that simple. I was reading the Algae Pulls a Fast One rules, which were a rewrite of the Algae rules by somebody in one of the Lard annuals, and it was in that they allowed you could also get somebody who was a dead shot as well, so another character trait, and you had an extra 3 dice when they're firing. So it's nice and easy. Just anything that you don't have to refer too much to the rule book for. You can find out by going to the Algernon Pulls It Off video, Thomas, and downloading the rules. It's all in there. It's all for free. So, but yeah, there's no particular special rules, but it wouldn't be a difficult thing to do to set some up if you wanted to, just by adding little bits here and there. It would be nice to have a campaign with it. I was always planning on doing a campaign with the Wings of War aircraft, possibly based on the Bloody April campaign that was in Richthofen's War, because that had full campaign rules. As I say, not particularly difficult. You just have to know which your squadron strengths, and then what missions they're undertaking. Free rule sets are the best. I agree. And the Algae ones are free. Unfortunately, I've got no way of knowing how many people have downloaded them, because there's no Google Analytics on my Google Drive. It'd just be interesting to see how many people have actually downloaded through the video, because it was quite a popular video. Largely probably because it's got free rules attached to it, and everybody likes free rules. There we go. That's nice and easy. When you think of First World War planes, the romanticism of famous names come to mind. Yeah, it's all about the aces. Mick Mannock, Albert Ball, Rennie Fonk, Bolka, Immelman. It's all about them, and the romanticism of them burning to death in a canvas bag from 20,000 feet. Absolutely. Right. Right, starting to take shape. Evening, Richard. Late to the party. Congrats on the 7k subs. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. It's nice to know that my videos are getting appreciation. It's all good stuff. All right. It was costume day at school for the kids, and my little man had to put on his First World War pilot outfit. Brilliant. I bet it looked fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. Obsessed with the Red Baron, isn't he? He's a man after my own heart. There's nothing wrong with that. Have I read In the Teeth of the Wind? No, I haven't. What's that about? Well, I'm assuming it's about it's about First World War aviation. I recently read Sagittarius Rising by Cecil Lewis. That was good. He talks about watching Lochnagar crater exploding on the 1st of July 16, and he's flying above it. Interesting accounts of Royal Naval Air Service, First World War. Okay, I'll check it out. I think the name rings a bell. I'll check it out. Loves the Baron. Yeah, well, I will check that out for sure. Right, time to do this brickwork. I need a slightly smaller brush than the one I had. So let's see if I can find one. They all have blue, grey or burnt sienna tile roofs. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for, I think. All my brushes are knackered now. I should just get some brush cleaner and actually give them a proper good clean, because I think they've all got gummed up with PVA because I've not cleaned them properly. I've got this tub here of all my old crap brushes. That's what I'm trying to find one that's useful for the task at hand. That one will do there, I should think. Right, so I've got kind of brick red here. As I say, at this point I just want to get this block colouring in. This is why I'm using brown as well as the base, so I've already got a base for the brick. I think it's not really brick though, it's more like stonework than brickwork, but I'm going to go with brick. Just to give it a bit of a definition against that grey. What time are we on? 10 to 9. See how far we go tonight. So really I just want to get these large areas covered with this bad boy, and then I'll come back and I'll neaten up some of the lines and stuff. I'm not too fussed about painting within the lines at this point. Just as I get large parts of it covered up. You can always come back. That's why I use large brushes. Absalung 502, magic potion for brushes. Okay. Absalung. Is that? I'm assuming that's by Mig or somebody, is it? Or one of the painting companies. And what does he do? Magic potion. What does he do? I'm assuming it's a brush cleaner or a brush reinventor. I'll have to make a note of all these things. I have got some. I've got some brush cleaner kicking about down here somewhere. At least I think I had. Yeah, brush restorer. There we go. Ready to use. Gives new life to hardened brushes. I'll give the stuff a go with that, and if that doesn't work, then I'll go with the Absolute 502, or I'll see if I can find some. No. I realise I've missed bits and pieces here and there. As I say, I don't care at this point. It's just a case of getting them on. It's by Absolute. Use a Windsor and use a brush cleaner and restorer to fix brushes. The master brush cleaner restorer to clean brushes after painting. I haven't needed new brushes for over a year. Strange how Richt often gets so much in the limelight. Individuals like Manic are rarely known in the general population. Yeah, that was largely due to the German the German propaganda machine as much as anything else. Because they celebrated their aces much more so than the British did. The RFC and the RNAF, and they were because they used to produce what were called Sanka cards, which were a series of cards of portraits of the aces. So most of the photos you see of the German aces were from those Sanka cards, and they used to sell them. Whereas the British didn't do that. They didn't really go for that kind of thing. And also, the Germans were allowed to paint their aeroplanes, which the British weren't. So, when you paint your aeroplane red, it becomes very obvious, doesn't it? We've done that. It's by Absolute. Meant to regenerate brushes that have got a bit worn. Okay, cool. I just thought Absolute isn't like... it's a German section or something, isn't it? Von Kettering, hello, good evening. Congrats, well done on the 7,000. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Evening, Dom. Good to have you on board. Joe says, always seems like your brushes crap out. Mine do as well, because mine get hammer, take some real hammer. Cheers, Dom. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Friends General Haig. Recommended by Stuart from Miniature Realms, who spends all day painting. Aha! Yes, I was just watching one of his videos this afternoon. The latest one he did about where his projects are going and things. That was good. Right. I don't think there's a great deal more. I can actually do a lot more on that. So that's going to dry up quite a lot before I can do anything else with that building, I think. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the wheels of these aircraft. What time are we on? 5 to 9. We'll see how long we can go for a little bit. Using the Master's brush cleaner and preserver after every painting session will save you the smallest size brushes. Videos on Lightseed how to use it. Okay, I'll check it out. I think my black might be running out. Well, I am going to Hammerhead on Saturday, so I might actually pick up some black paint while I'm there. That might be on my list. That might be the only thing that I buy. Master's brush soap helps keep them clean after painting. I think Ken Yorkshire Gamer has mentioned that in the past. Because he said his mother was an artist, so she basically drilled it into him that he has to keep his brushes clean. So he's always done it since he was a nipper. Now, when I started painting these, I was actually painting the tyres individually, and it took ages. And then I realised, why don't I just paint the entire thing black and then just put a tiny blob of the colour that I want in the centre, and that makes things a hell of a lot easier. So that's what I've been doing instead, just to speed things up, because you go a little bit blind after painting lots of 1/300th aircraft. I feel like you'll be at Hammerhead as well. Oh, excellent. Okay, well hopefully I'll bump into you. If you see me, say hello. And have a chat. I'll be there with a camera filming stuff. Surely there's a Yorkshire equivalent. Well, maybe there probably is. I can't remember what he said. He did say it was some kind of soap that he used, so it might be a Yorkshire version of the soap. But yeah, I'm going to go and film. I've already lined up a few interviews as well. Evening, Martin. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Dom, you got soap. I never remember to use it in your brushes till they die and it's too late. That's the problem, remembering it, isn't it? And to save money, use craft paints for base coating. Yeah, I do that generally, but these ones I just don't have any in at the moment. I use it for big terrain projects and stuff. I don't mind it for smaller buildings and things, because there's some nicer colours in the Vallejo ranges than there is on the in the craft paint ranges. Right, so you see, the thing is now I've painted those little things black, and I'll just go back a tiny dot of colour right in the centre where the wheel hub is. Rather, it's just a little bit easier than actually painting them in the first place. And I went through about 8,000 aeroplanes before I realised that. Because I'm slow on the uptake, unfortunately. And but I've been looking forward to getting to these Rolands, and I really like them. I've got a 1/48 scale Roland that's in my display cabinet, and I like them so much that I bought a second one. It's sitting in my pile of things to do, along with a 1/48 SE5 and a 1/48 Sopwith Camel. The thing that's put me off those two is the amount of rigging. What I might do is wait for a month where I don't have any money, so I don't have to buy anything, and I'll just sit down and make those at some point. So it's relaxing making models, but my display cabinet is getting a little bit full as well at this point. So it's a difficulty trying to find space to put them in. Right. What is everybody else out there painting? I know I asked some of you at the start of it, but we had a few new people join since the beginning, so let me know what you're painting tonight. You've got to be off, Joe. No problem. Thank you for joining us, and see you on the next one, Joe. Take care. Wardrobe. Right, Todd. Congratulations in that number. Also 1 million views. Pretty great. I know. Tell me about it. I'm absolutely over the moon about both of those. Little did I know when I first made my video that we'd be here today. I look back on it and I think, God, that looks awful. Mind you, my stuff these days isn't much better, but it's slightly better at least, because I've got a better camera, so you can just see more. That's what it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. But yes. Okay, now I just need them to dry, so I can then just paint the ends of them. So while they're drying, let's go and get some oily steel on these Sopwith pups. You're still working on French, except right at this moment I was still at work. So no painting, that's a shame. Did Ken pick up his painting mantra from his mum too? Most likely, yeah. No weird shit. Don't fuck about. More 10mm goals. Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure Ken picked quite a lot up of his mum. He, when I last saw him at Vat Attack, he was telling me that there were ADC brushes, I think they're called. They were selling his favourite brushes for next to nothing, for about like 10 quid for about 20 million of them. And I was going to go and buy them, and then I ended up watching Sean of God's Own Scale player getting hammered at Breakcourt Manor in 6mm, and then I forgot all about it, and I never went down and picked them up. So fingers crossed they're up at they're down at Hammerhead this weekend. Where we at? Don Moore Landsneck, good stuff for you, excellent. I really like the ones that you showed on the podcast yesterday, Don. Look really good. Flocking forest bases and hedgerows. It's only 3 PM where you are, Toadwell. It's 9 PM where I am. Early Imperial Romans and some Fireforge Varangian Guard on the table. Good stuff. More Seljuk light cavalry tonight. Excellent stuff. A good mix of what's going on. I always like it, seeing what everybody else is painting, because it just shows you how varied the hobby can be. The people across the world are just painting completely random weird things. And all loving it. Absolutely loving it. Right. Okay, that's them done with oily steel. So this is where the cheek comes in. So I'll go back now with my brown violet for the pups. And simply just a dot in the centre. That is enough. Probably just haven't eaten a couple of those up because I've done them a bit too quick. I don't do any weathering on these planes. They're too small, I think, and I kind of want them to stand out a little bit on the other table, so that's why I don't really bother with them. I like the colours to be relatively sharp. I've done some weathering on my Second World War aircraft, like on the GM4 Bettys. You're bowing out. Thanks for the company. Added a building to this evening, so cheers for inspiration, Alex. Good stuff. Excellent. Good. Good to have you on board, Dex. Thanks for watching. I think I'd have a mental breakdown without the hobby. Yeah, I think I'll be about the same. I'm not entirely sure what I'd do. It is a nice relaxation. Okay, that's all them done. And I don't have any of that pale blue anywhere, so I'll drag this out again. Be carefully, I don't want to get too much out of this. Just enough. So I'm doing exactly the same again with these Rolands. Just a wee dot. And yet again, I'll have to go back and clean them up. Okay, what we're saying. Have your goals, channel purpose changed since you decided to start? It's easy for a creator to lose focus on why they start the channel as they go, especially when you see channels succeed, whatever success means in our world. Yeah, yeah. My channel's actually changed radically from what it was when I started, because when I started, I was probably a little bit. What's the word? I didn't really have a great idea of what I could do from a wargaming point of view. I mean, one of the bigger channels obviously was Little Wars, and from a historical wargaming point of view, they were dominating the market, and they still do, obviously. But I saw a lot of like Warhammer and Games Workshop channels and painting channels and things. I put my brush down for this story time, and it was really I watched a lot of videos about board games and about how to play board games. So it was it was instructional, or reviews of board games, and I'm big into board games. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's a big pile of stack of board games there, and there is in the rest of the war room as well. And it's one of the things that me and my wife enjoy playing a lot of is board games. She won't touch wargaming, but she likes board gaming. And so my first video was how to play Arkham Horror, the card game video, and it was because I was trying to go down like a bit of a board gaming way, really, because I thought, well, this is a way to break into YouTubing, doing something that I enjoy doing, and something that it's also, it's in a relatively popular genre. That sounds a bit mercenary, but I was just kind of thinking of a way to make a little bit of money on the side, really, a bit of a side hustle, and I kind of thought of it from that point of view as much as anything else. But the gaming was the thing that started it, the board gaming, because I just couldn't at the time really work out how you could actually do historical wargaming on YouTube without doing, painting videos or after action videos with people, with groups and stuff. And I didn't really game with a group at the time, and my mates, one of them doesn't even like appearing in photographs, so there was no way he was going to appear in videos. And so that was kind of out, and it was just so yeah, I'm trying to get my thoughts in order. Yeah, it was mainly like board gaming. So I did stuff like what we got, Commands and Colours. I think that was my second video that I made, how to play Commands and Colours, Napoleonics, and then I was looking at some of the older board games that I got as well. So like stuff like Richthofen's War and Axis and Allies and things, and I was just trying to do stuff with those. Because again, it was relatively easy just to set up, a board game and film it compared to setting up a table. And then what happened was because I'm not a good enough painter to be able to do painting tutorials, despite the fact that I do them nowadays. I'm a fast painter. I'm not a good painter, but so I didn't really want to go down that route because I didn't think I was good enough. But I wasn't sure what to do. But my first love has always been historical gaming, and it was really during the lockdown. Well, actually, I did a couple of videos. I did the how to play I Ain't Been Shot Mum and how to play Chain of Command, because I'd already done the how to play board games, and I thought, well, I could do this, with a war game. So I did those series, and they really took off, and it kind of surprised me at how much interest there was in those. And the reaction that they got. So I just thought, well, that's actually, this is kind of pushing me more now towards the historical wargaming. And then when we had the pandemic started and the first lockdown came along, there were loads of people wondering what there were. I don't know if you remember, it was those first couple of weeks, and there was a panic setting amongst the wargaming crew, because a lot of people just didn't know what to do, because most people play games against people, but I'd always played as a solo player. I've always played with mates, but I've also always played solo games as well. I'd not done it for years, but in the past when I was a kid, in particular, to try out rules or whatever, I'd always play solo. And I made that video, a rough guide to solo wargaming, which I think at the moment is coming up on something like 10,000 views at this point. I've not checked it for a few days, but I think it was close to 10k views now, and that was just a 15-minute video of me saying like, well, you could do this, this is how it, solo game. It was kind of like to show people that you can do solo wargaming. You don't have to do it with friends, but it's still equally as much fun. And then I thought, well, I've done a video about how to do it, so why don't I do a video doing it? So that's when it was one weekend, and I set up the Stalingrad game, and it was it was originally, I painted all the figures for the Rapid Fire Stalingrad scenario that was in one of their Russian front supplements. And because you can transfer rapid fire stuff quite directly, easily to Iron Beam Shotgun, I did it as an Iron Beam Shotgun game, but with using the Stalingrad figures that I got, and then did that as a what you call it, just as a basically as a also as a demonstration as to how to play. Thank you very much. That is really appreciated. As a demonstration as to how to play solo games, just to show again, because everybody was stuck doing nothing, and this was like just before people started doing all the virtual gaming. So it was just really a case of doing that, and then from that, because of the pandemic and being stuck indoors anyway, I just started doing more solo games and more after action reports, and obviously I was enjoying them anyway, and people were enjoying watching them and reacting to them well. So it kind of pushed me away from that whole board gaming thing and into the historical wargaming thing, which was a thing that I kind of wanted to do it in the first place, but it was just one of those things that I didn't have enough. What's the word? I need imagination to do it basically. So that's kind of like the story of the channel, I guess, at this point, and it was just down to that really, just down to circumstance, the lockdown, the fact that I've done solo gaming in the past, the fact that I just wanted to show people how to do it. Just thought, give something back into the hobby a little bit, really. So let me just catch up on the chat. Ian says, you're painting a Flampanzer 3, excellent, for Chain of Command. I've been sat with just Dunkel Gelb coat on for about 2 years now, sporting a bit of camo and about to get the first dirty wash. Great. And yes, I agree with you, Thomas. Flampanzers are awesome, and they're nasty, aren't they? Evening Nat 1 videos, super tiny scale you're working on it, very much so. 1/300 scale. Well, thank you, Todd, for the Iron Beam Shotgun tutorials. They're great. Thank you very much. Richard says the first video you caught was a Stalingrad one. Yeah, so I've not played a Stalingrad game that big since. I did the Chain of Command. That was a smaller version of it. I'd like to go back to the bigger Stalingrad. Evening, Lazy Pirates. Thomas, so yours the first how to play Chain of Command. Yeah, I want to do more of the how to play videos, but they take such a long time to do because they have to be scripted, and then you've got to sit down and really go through the rules and pull everything out, pull everything to pieces in the rules, so you know that you're doing it right. And I've still made mistakes in some of those, I think. I mean, you can cut some stuff out, but because I've kind of pretty much written a sharp practice one, a script for doing a sharp practice how to play. I need to go back and tidy it up and break it into sections so it works properly. And the fear is starting it, because once you start it, Medieval Warrior, thank you very much. The fear is once you started it, you've got to carry on with it and push it right through to the end, and that's the difficulty, because you're committed then. But having said that, with those videos, the hard part is writing the script and making sure you get everything correct. But once you've done that, like setting up all the game and stuff, and the examples and filming it, that bit is relatively easy. It's just kind of time consuming. It's that initial script writing is the hardest part of it, because there are a lot of videos out there of how to play X game, but you kind of want to do it, you want to get it right because you know that somebody's watching it as a tutorial, really. And I know a lot of people have said to me that they've, in particular the Chain of Command one, has been pretty popular because it helps people understand. Thank you very much, Lazy Pirate. It helps people understand how the game flows and what the different aspects of it are and things. And people learn different ways. Some people learn by reading. Some people like myself learn by either doing or seeing. So you kind of, videos are good for that. I think that's a good a good aspect of them, and they are very popular. And you know, I guess I said earlier I started the channel really because I wanted to do it a little bit for as a bit of an extra bit of money coming in, and it's now, you know, it is actually providing me. It's not an income, of course, nowhere near, but it is a there is some money coming in each month from it, so it's like paying for hobby stuff. But if I really wanted to get big money, I would probably do something like Bolt Action or Black Powder, for example, because they're incredibly popular games that, you know, people will be looking for tutorials on. But I need to have my heart in it as well, you know, and I don't play those games, so why would I make a video about games? I'd rather do like an obscure lardy giveaway game that you know, like Algernon pulls it off, because I don't know, that's just the way I am. It's like having Romanians for the Second World War, you know, these weird little armies that nobody else would touch. James says, you're not painting but you're planning. Crete 41 for O Group, excellent. Maybe 6mm, sounds good. If I was starting from scratch, James, I would probably do O Group in 6mm, I think. It would work perfectly with it, but having twice my body weight in 50mm figures, there's just no point. And Richard says, you got my Caesar vote today for quick reports. Thank you very much, Richard. I saw that had come out. I don't think I'm going to win. The last I looked, I think I got something like 3 votes. Big Lee, very rightly, had got, I think he was on 9 votes, and the Shiloh report was on something like 23. So there's no chance of me winning, unfortunately for that. But I didn't think I would do because of the American Civil War and Little Wars TV viewers are largely American, I think, in most part. So I think a lot of them would go for the American Civil War thing rather than some obscure battle in the Far East that nobody's ever even heard of. Too many of those anyway. Corporate sponsorship that ends up gating content. Well, that's true. There is that as well. I mean, I am independent. Hi, I've been sent some stuff by On the Tabletop. They sent some stuff through to me, so I said I'd do a review of it. It's not really my stuff, but I thought it's the least I can do if they send me some stuff. You'll see that out probably next week, I guess. Exactly the same with the YouTube channel. Yeah, just do it for fun. Yeah, exactly. I do it for fun. I've got 2 jobs that I absolutely love, that I'm more than happy to continue working in. You know, if this did start making big money and I was able to live off it, then I would be more than happy to wake up. I was talking to Rich from Two Fat Lardies about it and the other day, and I was saying he was asking how the channel was doing and if I was able to live off it. I said no way at this point, but you know, if I was able to wake up every morning, make a battle report for Chain of Command, and put that out and actually make enough money off it that I'm making in my jobs at the moment, I'd be a very happy man. But that's the way of the world, isn't it? I'm happy enough doing what I'm doing. I've currently got, I think it's about 14 videos backed up, so I don't even have to make any more videos for the next about, if I release one a week for the next 3 months or so. It was a gimmicky troops moving the Shiloh. It was a really good video. I really liked it. I think they deserved to win. I thought it was a really good effort. I thought, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, I knew when I was up against them. I thought, well, that's me done. I'm Banjak's there, and then I've got a feeling. I will go out on a limb, and I think Travis will win the channel of the fan favourite channel as well this year, as he did last year, again very deservedly. So I don't think I'm in the running for anything this year. I think the two categories that I'm in, I think I've been soundly hammered in both of them, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that I've been nominated is great, and that's what counts. It's recognition rather than winning. I don't really mind, but of course, it'd be nice to have fan favourite 2022 laurel on the logo. But it goes to whoever wins it is more than enough deserving of it, of all the channels that are in the fan favourite bit, of which there's at least one in here tonight, Martin, if he's still here. So go and vote for either me or Martin. Let's let the British shine through, I think, this time around. So yeah, that was quite a long-winded answer there, Todd, I'm afraid. But that's kind of where the whole channel came from and where it went to and things. Still good that you flagged as a very worthy content maker. Exactly, I'm just chuffed that I got nominated, that somebody nominated me. I'm really pleased for that. And I know people did because they told me, they said they had done, so I nominated myself, obviously, because, you do. But other people had also nominated me as well. Yeah, cheers, Lazy Pirate. It was, like I say, it's just nice to get the recognition, really. I just like it. I'm happy with that. All right. Well, to be honest, I think I don't know, actually. I'm just thinking, what should I do with these aircraft at this point? I'm just going to clean up the Sopwith pups, and then I think I'll give them a bit of varnish, and I think we'll probably leave it for that, because it's 9:30ish now, 9:20. So that was almost an Ask Me Anything session, wasn't it? Because, I mean, there must be some people who are making quite a lot of money in this hobby. I think your man, I can't remember his name, Miniature Atom, Uncle Atom he calls himself. You need a good Vallejo uniform colour for some First World War Anzacs. Oh God, what do I use? It's in my little book. You would use... Right, so for your uniform base, brown violet. Are you writing this down, Richard? Then for highlights, English uniform. For the pack and equipment, khaki as your base, and then highlight it in buff. And then for the helmet, bronze green, and boots, I do them in leather brown, but black would do as well. There you go, write that down. That's what I used, because they wore the same equipment as the British soldiers. So you can just do them like that. But there you go. That was worth you tuning in for just tonight. I'm not painting any First World War infantry for a while. Okay, so I think they're cleaned up now. I think I've got everything there. As I say, it doesn't really matter so much about the under. Mainly Games Workshop stuff to make some decent dosh. Exactly that. That's what I mean. You need to be for historical stuff. I'd say bolt action. I'd say bolt action even more so than black powder. Bolt action is definitely the is definitely the draw. And then basically any other new game that comes out, because people are desperate to see new games being played. One of the biggest videos I made was the O Group First Play, and despite the fact I got everything wrong in it pretty much, that's had some of the biggest views as well at the time, and still does. Got it. You got it. Good stuff. Got it, Richard. Well, you can always watch this on the playback if you didn't write it down first time. But yeah, Games Workshop is. I think the problem is with the Games Workshop. Well, it's not a problem, but it's quite a flooded market now. Everybody's making Games Workshop videos, so there's always new ones coming out, and there's always you'd be, if you were just starting out, you'd be a very small fish in a very large pond. So it'd be difficult to get recognition unless you're doing something really, 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 really good and outstanding. So that's the difficulty, isn't it? Not historical minis get the impression Squidmar makes good money on the UYT. I'm fairly sure he does. I know his name, but I can't place his stuff because it's not historical. There's nobody really making. I don't think there's anybody that does, purely historical that would be making a lot of money, because it's a niche within a niche. That's the problem. I get loads more hits on my channel if I did Games Workshop stuff instead of Mantic. But hey, you love the Mantic games. Well, you know, that's the thing. That's what it comes across, isn't it? So, you know, it's what you enjoy doing. It's the thing that draws your viewers in. That's kind of what I think as well. Just got that frustrating feel when you finish a unit and don't have a spare room to put it in. Well, you're going to have to go out and buy yourself one, aren't you? At least I don't put Warhammer in the title and talk about something completely different. No, I'd never do that. Unless I was talking about something specifically Warhammer. But no, I don't. It's interesting that Warhammer has now become a word for wargaming. I don't know enough. I don't know English grammar enough to know what kind of word it is, whether it's a noun or a verb or whatever. But yeah, when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna do some Warhammer," meaning I'm gonna do some wargaming. It's interesting. Right, so I'm just using some brush on varnish here. This is just for Leos. What's it called? Matte varnish. So this will just protect the undersides. And as I say, I'm not putting any decals or anything on the undersides of these, simply because you won't see them. I'm glad this. Cheers, buddy. It's just amazing to get the nomination. So many great channels on there. But yeah, vote for us. We have to represent. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. No worries. I mean, like I say, I'd be very happy if I'd be over the moon if I won it, but I'd be very happy if you won it as well, Martin. Simply because we're representing the Brits, and that's the thing. That's what it's all about. But I've got to. I honestly, I think I would put money on Travis winning it again this year, because he's a very well known, very well established channel. You know what you're getting with Travis. You know what you're getting when you tune into Tabletop CP, and he plays some very popular games, and he has a good thing. It's become the Hoover of the wargaming world. You made one video about something vaguely GW related ages ago, and I think it's my lowest viewed video. It got claimed the other day as well. I did actually, yeah. I did an unboxing of Blackstone Fortress when that came out, and it's hardly had any views whatsoever. So I guess it's just about audiences. It's about your audience and mine, Martin, are historically minded, so they're not interested in Games Workshop largely, I would say. So it's they're tuning in to see for you for medieval stuff. For me, they're tuning in to see 20th century modern stuff. Well, not modern stuff, but more modern stuff than medieval. And I think this is what the problem is. I thought because Blackstone Fortress was going to be it was a popular game and there was a big demand for it. I managed to get hold of a copy of it because I was basically reselling it. I made no bones about that. I was just reselling it, but I thought I'll do an unboxing video because that'll be popular. Nobody watched it. I'm good with not making much money out of my channel. It's my gaming journey. Well, there is that as well. That's the other thing, isn't it? I know what I could do to try to make more money, but my heart isn't into that. People would soon realise it. Yeah, exactly. Mine, my ultimate goal with the channel isn't to make money. It's it's a vlog, which is why I started doing the hobby updates, because I wrote the Storm of Steel blog for 12 years. So the hobby updates are basically just like my blog, basically, but in a visual post-medieval. Of course. Based on GW's behaviour of late, fan reactions, 3D printing response might not be a Hoover much longer. Warlord Games take the top spoon? Maybe. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I do post-medieval wargaming. Oh, classic stuff. Yeah, spot on. My thinking was maybe there would be some interest between the historical crowd and Lord of the Rings stuff, but no. Yeah, lesson learned, I think, at the end of the day, Martin. It's like, stick to what you know. You were found wanting. Same as I was. It's like, no. The audience said no. So, yeah. You know, I find that some of the scenery stuff is something that people like a lot of as well. So, like, I bet your castle video, I think that did pretty well. From what I last saw of the numbers of it. People like that kind of stuff. They like tutorials. People like to be shown how to do stuff. That's why the how to play videos are always really good. Do really well. If Wikipedia Foo was right, CrackCon 2 is post-medieval, even though it hasn't happened. It's a wrong word. Whereas again, you'll start him off again, Dom. I like the Lord of the Rings stuff. I think it's a cracking game. I've never played it. That was like the Games Workshop one, wasn't it? And by that time, Games Workshop was way out of my eye line. There was zero interest in it. I can't remember the last Games Workshop Warhammer, should I say, Warhammer themed game I played was Warhammer 40k 2nd edition, which tells you how long ago it was. Or maybe it was Adapticus Titanicus, the first one, first edition of their epic. That was probably the last set of rules I bought, which tells you how long. And that was when they were released, not like afterwards. Have I heard Warlord campaign system that's linking games together? Games in BA and BRS. I've seen it. I saw it somehow. I liked the what's the word? The look of it, because it looks like Commando comics. I like that bits of it. How it plays, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be all right. I'm not really a big fan so much of Warlord stuff. It's not really not my bag. Because they, apologies before I insult anybody who does like Warlord stuff. It always just seems a little bit gamey to me, which is stupid because it's all a game. It's all toy soldiers at the end of the day, but they just seem a little bit more so than the stuff that I like, which is the Too Fat Lardy stuff. So I don't really know. I don't really care so much about what Warlord are putting out, and I don't even buy the figures because I don't buy 28mm figures. So, oh no, I do. I'm lying. Judge Dredd, and I've got the Judge Dredd set and the figures for it. But with Too Fat Lardies soon to be bringing out What a Cowboy, it might well be that I start playing What a Cowboy, but with Judge Dredd figures instead. We'll see. You must admit you don't mind a bit of Kill Team. Fair enough. If you like it, Richard, you like it. It's a big enough church. You won't get banned off this channel. You'll get a withering stare, but you won't get banned. Don't worry. If you like to play something, you like to play some. At the end of the day, there's room enough for everybody as far as I'm concerned. And if you don't like a game, or you don't like a system, or you don't like a company or whatever, just find another one that you do. Makes no odds, does it? Space Hulk was best game. Yes, actually, I think I do agree with that. I did. I did play Space Hulk virtually a while back. You've probably seen some of the videos, so I'm probably lying about when I last played any Games Workshop stuff. Tom Egan put on a game for me and Joe Bilton, and it was excellent. And I played it with my mate. He basically retrofitted it back to Aliens, because that's obviously what it was ripped off from. Aliens came out, then 2 or 3 years later, Space Hulk came out. Oh, what's the connection? But yeah, he used Colonial Marines instead of the Space Marines, and it's a really good, tense game. Don't call you out at Hammerhead. I will do. You'll get thrown out. TFL is better. Well, better is is really in the eye of the beholder. I think it's better, but there'll be other people who say differently. At each their own. If that's what they like, that's what they like. Looking forward to getting some solo practice games and a Blood and Valour before CrackCon. Seems a reasonably nice game system on the first read. A bit gamey, but with some period for flavour. Okay, it'll be interesting to see how he plays actually. I like square bashing a lot for the First World War, and I like Through the Mud and the Blood again. TFL. They're my two favourite. I've got thingy Great War Spearhead, but my God, is it impenetrable. It's like an uphill struggle reading that. You need to get a copy of Mud and Blood, you certainly do. Great game, absolutely great game. Check out my videos on it. That's another video. I did think about doing a how to play Through the Mud and the Blood, but I thought it might be a little bit too obscure for people. But I don't know, people kind of like them, don't they? They like those kind of videos, just like watching how other games work and things. So I like to read rules as well, you know. I might not always play the game, but I do like to read the rules. It's just a nice thing to digest. And I think Dom mentioned it as well the other night on the podcast. He said he reads a lot of rules. And I'm about the same, really. I might not ever play the game, but just actually reading it is nice. Right, folks, I think it is now 20 to 10. I'm absolutely covered in crap because I've got loads of weathering powder everywhere earlier on. I'm going to leave it at that. That'll do for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody who's tuned in. Cheers, Todd, for the donation. That was really, really welcome. It all helps. Obviously, if you're not subscribed, you probably didn't even know this was happening. But do subscribe, and I shall see you all on the other side and in the next video. Which actually, on Friday, it's a Bag the Hun video. It's a Battle of Britain Bag the Hun video. So look out for that. And that'll be out on Friday. And I shall see you all on the flip side.